Okay, now time for a 1v1. Let's see if I can win this, guys, because I am not very good at this game. Okay, so normally you want to start by having your citizen soldiers going to collect wood, and then say your woman to farming, and then just work from there. Unfortunately, you run out of your normal supplies of food nearby very quickly, and then you switch your woman to farming, and then you work from there. The main constraints at this point in the game are mostly your food supplies and your wood, because once you start making the citizen soldiers, they require wood or stone or metal in order to actually be created. Yeah, at this point you can occasionally have a few bottlenecks, so you sometimes just have to wait a few seconds and, I guess, sit tight. Okay, on the other hand, you might also want to send one of your units out as a scout to see the enemy's base, because knowing what kind of stuff they're building is very useful in helping you decide what strategy you plan on going on, and whether or not you might just plan to put all your stuff into a rush or wait. You also need to just set up a storehouse nominally close to the resources you're trying to collect in order to, oh, damn it, wrong place. In order to start off, and then also build a few houses just to increase your population cap, because if your population cap is not high enough, you can not build any more units, obviously. Now, I normally wait until around level 2, the town phase, before I start building my barracks and stuff, but okay, so here's the enemy base right here. They got some woman firing right there, so, I'm of course going to attack them. If I can kill enough of their population, I can severely weaken their effort to advance very quickly. But it's all about kind of a trade-off, because you can also lose the units you sent, and that would destroy my eco, because all my money resources would have gone into units that are now dead. Making it kind of a trade, I don't normally see it as worth it, but in this game I will, because this player doesn't seem to know what he's doing, and he's really not advancing at a reasonably fast rate. So a good 10-20 cavalry might really completely ruin his day and destroy his ability to fight properly. And in that case, I can continue building while he continues to get wrecked, and I will win. Much faster than expected, though I really don't have the food reserves to be launching such an attack yet, so I have to continue waiting. So there's also an upgrade system to where if you go over here to this panel on either storehouse or the food house, you can upgrade the rate at which they collect resources. Now you want to be using this as much as possible, because there's literally no bad things about having more resources ever. You also not only want to be going slightly faster than I am, as my clicking is not really the fastest, and I am therefore going at a reduced rate to some of the pro players, which can do this in under 3 minutes and get a pop of 30 up. It's insane. And far outclasses me, but this is all you have right now in terms of Zero AD Let's Plays, so, whatever. Do whatever you want. Okay. So I'm spawning a lot of women, which is sometimes a huge weakness, because if the enemy raids me, they can kill off most of my population before I can really retaliate, and that would basically take me out of the game. But I'm going under the assumption that the player isn't very experienced, and am therefore taking a few liberties when it comes to competent placement of some defensive units. Like these citizen soldiers over here, these guys can take out like a cavalry attack really easily. But normally what you do is you set up like an ambush, you charge in your cavalry, take out like a large population, and then you run away again before the enemy can retaliate. And after you do that a few times, the enemy's economy is like basically destroyed, and then they can no longer fight. I mean, that's what I'm going for in my case, but I have to work through the whole getting a certain amount of population up before I do it. Though actually, now that I think about it, I might end up rushing too late in the game now. You might have defenses and the like set up before I get back there, which is unfortunate, but it's much riskier to my economy to go any faster than I am going right now. Yeah, as you can see, main constraints are a lot of the time the wood, because it's either the wood, the stone, or the metal production, because in certain kind of periods of the game, you don't really have enough units up to collect them at efficient rate. And I'm also not doing this at the most efficient ratio, which I don't remember what it is, but it's kind of like, I think maybe like 3 to 2 or something like that in terms of workers to women, but I'm pretty much a noob still. So I'm just trying my best for now. Unfortunately, I also end up having to spend a lot of my wood in building my farms in the first place, which is unfortunate, but a necessity, obviously, because the only best way to get resources is to use resources for some reason. You see, now I have the choice of getting the raiding cavalry, which would give me a chance to wreck his base, but this investment might cost me the game if it doesn't work out, because it'll set back my building by quite a while. But I shall take the risk for a simple reason that I'm feeling quite reckless today. Oh, darn it. My mistake there was the fact that I thought that was a tree you cut down, but that was actually an apple tree. Yeah, the apple trees you can collect food from as well. In fact, there are a lot of nuances in this game that you don't even recognize the first time, and they can lead to some grave tactical errors, as I'm going to call them. But they hopefully won't be too costly, as it's really super early in the game anyway. And I don't think the enemy really has any advantage on me, because just looking at his base, he's not building that much faster than I am. And hopefully, using my raiding cavalry, I'll be able to create a very large gap in between our levels of build up very quickly. Though whether or not this will actually happen is a very not sure. Very questionable because of my lack of ability. Let me just see where his units are. Yep, farmstead. Okay, as you can see here, he's making a massive mistake and building with women mostly, which are going to be super easy for me to wipe out here right now. Damn. Damn, damn. Okay, so it's kind of a combined force of women and peltas. So, I'm not going to get out that cleanly, but I'm pretty sure that was in at least an even trade, so that's good enough, frankly. Okay, so you see now, as soon as you unlock barracks, the first thing you're going to want to do is start to place them. I'm scared because I don't want him to do the same thing I did to him and attack me out of nowhere. Okay, you see now I've reached the town phase, and I take up much more space, and I do not think my opponent, actually he might have reached the town phase, I can't really tell. So you see at this point you want to start placing down a barracks, and then spamming out units much faster than you've been doing. Oh, damn it. Yeah, that was an accidental error. I didn't mean to send them in, but it happened anyway, and I just have to live with it now. Anyway, so I have two strategies I can work with. Is I can either go and try to defend these straits over here, or I can send more raiding units in. Though the raiding's probably not going to work because he seems to have caught on by now. And frankly, I didn't do it in the most efficient manner, and I kind of got those guys killed for no reason. But, oh well, learning experience, I guess. I most likely wanted to do that even earlier than when I did, because when the time I did it, he kind of had most of his base already set up, and he even had like a barracks set up, which actually means he might be ahead of me. But I can't really tell from just looking at his eco right now. But it's closer than I want it to be. So we're gonna have to do something about that. Anyway, in terms of my units here, I'm going to want to start getting some stone as soon as possible, because I need the stone to create my glorious slinger units. And oh, here's their little attack, which is going to fail terribly because they walked right into my slingers. So yes, you see, this is what attacking wrong looks like. All their units are dead, and they afflicted essentially no damage to me. Yeah, that was hilarious. I'm just going to use my dog as kind of a scout unit right now. I don't remember how effective those units are, but I'm pretty sure they're not that effective, so I can't really use them for any kind of combat. As you can see here, because of my really fast building up, I have a lot more resources for in terms of food than I do wood, which is kind of a major flaw in my playstyle, is that I don't really get resources at the same rate in terms of wood and food. And so I kind of at times have to stop expanding for a bit and then let my wood resources catch up. And then I kind of do the opposite, where I get super ahead in in wood late game, and then I don't have enough food to keep building. But that's just more of because I'm really learning this game still. It's interesting at first how easy it seems, but it's actually really complex. Unfortunately for me, and unfortunately for the player here, if he'd come in from the other side, he probably could have done substantial damage to my bases. I don't actually have any units on that side. And in actuality, I think I'll go place my little scout over there. And so, in terms of attacking my cavalry, it's going to really wreck my eco if I continue to do that. So, I'm just going to hold off on that for now. So the slinger units are special here in is that they take wood instead of they take wood and stone instead of just wood. So if I kind of ration my resources correctly, I can expand a lot faster than I normally would, because most of my wood that I'll need to spend on housing and stuff, I can instead not have to spend on units. But I still do need a lot of wood though, so yeah, that's annoying. Occasionally there is like the random unit with no purpose, and I can't really do anything about that because it's not set up optimally, and I'm not really going to be able to fix it now because everything's already built. So whatever. My issue right now is more of I don't know how behind I am from my opponent, which is really going to bite me in the ass when he starts attacking me, because he could have a massive force that I don't know about. I can't really tell, and now it's time for me to use my little dog there to test how many units they have, even though he will probably get killed in the process. It's for a good cause, though. Recon is more important than just the individual unit. God, my wood production is terrible. Okay, so at this point, I really should have built a market by now, but I am kind of lagging behind because I'm talking and playing at the same time, which is really something I don't seem to be too good at. Now let me try to escape with this dog's life. Ow. Okay. Okay, so yes, they have a lot of units. I'm not really sure how many, but it's a lot. Maybe slightly more than me, but it's not like a game-ending advantage for him yet. The issue is more along the lines of I'm not expanding fast enough. I should, in my kind of nominal form, be using like just stacks of 5 and stacks of 5 with my slingers, and then have enough to build houses at the same time. But my resources right now are kind of being sent in at around half the rate they should be, and so I'm not getting enough wood because I guess I built too many farms early on. And so now I have a massive surplus of food, but nowhere near enough wood to actually do anything. First world problems. Anyway, um, so as I continue to build out here, oh crap. Uh, yeah, so this is what it looks like when they get behind your base, and it's really annoying because I can't really do anything about it until I just send in my units to kill them. But frankly, they're all close enough to just murk those forces once they get into combat. The spearmen absolutely wreck um, cavalry, because, I mean, of course, but set up my metal as well. And yeah, so I'm, as you can see, not running exactly the tightest ship, but it's a tight enough ship to where I can semi-effectively play. And frankly, he's going to be getting set back a lot by the amount of attacks he's doing. Like the cavalry he lost there, that was basically 2.5 times the cost of those women that he killed. So he just took like 3-to-1 losses in terms of resources, whereas I only lost like a small amount of food, which I already have a massive surplus on. So as you can see, like at this stage in the game, the raiding becomes less and less effective when you have stockpiled resources, because then the losses you'll take in comparison won't really make up for the kind of damage of the attack. So all the damage he did there was basically absorbed almost immediately because I can just rebuild all the units. This isn't like early game where you start taking massive deficits in terms of like, let's say, food production because all of your women get killed and you can't like make up for it, and then you slowly start to lose the game. What is much more of an issue is the fact that I'm not even at like level 3 yet, and I haven't scouted him in a while. Oh, right, forgot you could rotate with Q&A. Wow, this is much harder than I thought to play and talk at the same time, but I'll try my best still. Okay, so set the woman to farming and continue my massive surplus of food, and then collect more wood, and good. So this here allows me to buy resources if I need them. Don't really need it yet, but I probably will later when I start seeing deficits on everything, which kind of just happens as the game goes along. And then another barracks in order to make more units from it. Okay. Okay, you see, this is the point where you really start to get in terms of like into like the stride of the game, because now I have sufficient resources to like where I can like absolutely spam out units. Like I'll be essentially pumping out constant stacks of 5 citizen soldiers from this point forward in the game, because I'll frankly have the resources for it. And that will expand my base over time. even if I am just to not get the upgrades for wood and stuff, because I'm not playing the most efficient ship today. You want these upgrades as soon as possible because they essentially massively increase your resource acquisition for a relatively low cost. And no, I don't want to be collecting that. I want to be collecting wood. You gotta make sure you're collecting wood, otherwise it will be resources you already have a lot of. Okay, good. Yeah, still having a bit of wood problems. And there's the blacksmith that allows you to upgrade units. Okay, see now I should be fine on wood for the rest of the game, because the rate I'm taking it in now is going to be far faster than the rate at which I'm building units, meaning that as long as I run a semi-efficient, God, oof, really not doing this the most efficiently today. You need a certain amount of buildings to go to the next phase. A certain amount of buildings that I've not yet acquired. Yeah. The good thing about the Britons is because their slingers are made with stone instead of wood, kind of have more resources early on. Though, frankly, I kind of wasted my early advantage with my, I'm going to call them shenanigans early on, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not too big a deal yet, but it will be soon if I can't even this out. So, I'm not really sure at the moment how many kind of troops he has, and I could do a strategy of building up another cav force and then trying to attack him again, but I don't think that's going to be very effective. So my only other real plan is to kind of turtle and acquire mass amount of like units and stuff, and then when he attacks, I fight off his attack, and oh crap, he got to level 3. Okay, so he is leveling faster than I am, and that is very concerning because if I can't even like really stay in the running here, I'm just going to get overrun by his units, and everyone will die. And as I'd prefer that to not happen, I'm going to have to start mining extensively there, 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 there. Okay. Yeah, there's also a housing upgrade that I did just now, which increased my units. Cap. Okay. The wheelbarrow increases our carry capacity, which kind of the longest time is the time spent in between gathering resources is kind of a major drawback to how much you collect. So being able to do that really over time increases the amount of resources you can. Okay, good. Okay, you see, this is the issue I was talking about here. They seem to be already going on the offensive, and they're going to take out quite a bit of stuff before I can respond back. So because I have the sentry tower here, I can rely on it to at least do some of the damage, but I really should have been upgrading. Oh crap. Okay. So yeah, whether or not I can fight off that assault will essentially decide the game. And if I'm dead now or if I'm dead 20 minutes from now.